On May 12, 2019, Ben Shapiro tweeted, "Happy legal guardian of unspecified gender day." 9volt responded, "You guys have like one joke you tell over and over again." RNFC jumped in to say, "We have as many jokes as you have R-worded genders." To which 9volt replied, "This is the same joke again." This is the Museum of Twitter, the show we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. Happy Mother's Day, folks, and because it's Mother's Day, I felt it appropriate to do what I think is probably the most famous Mother's Day tweet exchange of all time. At least it's one I think about every Mother's Day, because every Mother's Day since this, someone has made exactly the same joke that Ben Shapiro makes in this exchange, and I always think about it. And before you think about commenting it, yes, I know that my speaking voice sounds like Ben Shapiro. If I could change it, I would. Anyway, right-wing podcaster Ben Shapiro clearly thinks that he is breaking new ground in comedy by daring to point out that some people don't consider gender a binary, and doing the thing that conservatives always do, where they act like they're not allowed to say very basic things because people get mad at them. Like, clearly the subtext here is that he has to say legal guardian of unspecified gender day because some blue-haired progressive would get mad at him for saying mothers. Or of course, like, no, that's never happened. Like, I'm sure you could find someone who said something along the lines of, not everyone who is a mother identifies as a woman, so the same terms don't necessarily apply, but obviously that is not the same thing as saying that you're not allowed to say Happy Mother's Day. And this is a constant thing that right-wingers joke about. They're always making jokes about the idea that the gender binary might not be so simple. They're aghast at the idea that someone might not be the same gender that they were assigned as sex. Sometimes people might not be one of the two stringent genders that we have in society already, or that someone might dare to say, hey, my gender's complicated, it doesn't fit neatly into anything. So they hammer this joke home all the time. And when 9volt points this out, RNFC is like, whoa, we have as many jokes as you have R-worded genders. Now, what he's trying to say is that they have a lot of jokes, because he believes that people on the left have, like, unlimited genders. But of course, he's not really proving this point, because as 9volt famously points out, this is the same joke again. To spell it out plainly, in response to the accusation that right-wingers have only one joke that they repeat over and over again, RNFC makes a joke that is functionally the same joke that Ben Shapiro just made. And I think why this exchange became famous, why I got screenshotted so many times, why it became a shorthand for this sort of thing, is the simplicity of this is the same joke again. When in January, Elon Musk tweeted a chart that said, number of genders, 4004 BC to 2020 AD, 2. 2021 AD to 2024 AD, 73. Present, 2. B quoted that and said, this is the same joke again. And just think about the fact that this is this year. So people have been making the this is the same joke again joke for 4+ years when Elon Musk tweeted this, and he still made the same joke. But okay, Elon Musk is always making lame jokes. What about someone who, I don't know, is a professional comedian? After the LA fires, Rob Schneider tweeted, LA County, 72 genders, 0 operational fire hydrants, which made Zoe say, this is the same joke again. I think the reason why you notice this pattern so often is because, like, this is barely a joke at all. And it has nothing to do with what's being talked about. Like, they're the ones who accuse the left of being obsessed with gender. But when they see the second largest city in the United States on fire, their first thought is, the liberals have a lot of genders. And if you need another example from a professional comedian, when Roseanne had her big special on Fox Nation, she said, my pronouns are kiss my ass. To which Sharfo quoted that and said, and I quote, this is the same joke again. This stuff doesn't necessarily offend me on a political level, because, like, it's so silly and so stupid, but as someone who enjoys comedy, it does really offend me. Like, comedy is supposed to evolve, and the fact that conservative comedians have not evolved past pronouns are weird and there are a lot of genders is really sad for them. And one of the biggest culprits of this is the Babylon Bee, you know, the right-wing equivalent of the Onion. This December, they had an article that said, Rudolph changes name to Rolanda, dominates female reindeer games, which led Evan Loves Worf to quote tweet that with the exchange with 9volt. Because if there's another thing that they love to fantasize about, is the idea that a man would decide to be a woman to dominate at sports, which of course is a thing that has never happened ever. In fact, it makes me want to turn into the Joker. Multiple members of the actual government have basically made the same joke. Bathroom monitor Nancy Mace tweeted, I want our kids to learn about AEIOU instead of LGBTQ, which led 679 enthusiasts to say, tapping the sign with a screenshot of the Volt exchange. And during noted drunkard Pete Hegseth confirmation hearing, Senator Tim Sheehy asked him, how many genders are there? To which Hegseth responded, 2. And Sheehy said, I know that well, I'm a Sheehy. Which, like, ha ha ha, his name is Sheehy, 2 genders. It's ironic he'd make this joke because he probably also would be mad at someone who had their pronouns in their bio, but this joke is reliant on the fact that he and she are the 2 main pronouns. And yes, Sam Bailey did quote tweet this with the 9volt exchange. And possibly the hackiest joke I saw when I looked up different times that people used this screenshot is from Whitney Cummings, who tweeted, another 2024 CNN joke I caught for time, Shania Twain's on the show tonight. Reminds me of this year's Paris Olympic theme. Man, I feel like a woman. This led Jenny to quote that with the 9volt exchange, but think about how hacky this is. The Paris Olympics happened in the summer, and of course there was the one female boxer who right-wingers accused of being transgender because she happened to not look conventionally female, and at one point she had a test where some of her hormone levels were high, which is of course a thing that happens with humans because humans have variance in their hormone levels. And despite the fact that she was was not transgender, because not only is being transgender illegal in her country, it's also not allowed in the Olympics. They kept calling her transgender and said that a man was beating up on women. And so that happened all the way back in the summer. It was resolved. There was actually nothing going on there that was untoward. But Whitney Cummings had to reach all the way back to that controversy and say, man, I feel like a woman. Because, as 9volt astutely pointed out, they have one joke. It's annoying and dumb and frustrating, but they obsess over this one thing so much. There are lots of people who have done a lot of great work exploring gender, the different variances of it, how it's not a binary, all that, yada, yada, yada. But more than anything, my thought is just like, why do you care so much? Why is it on your mind, Ben Shapiro, when you're putting out a Mother's Day message? How is your brain so broken that the idea of wishing someone a happy Mother's Day, a very important thing, mothers are really important. I love my mother. My mother is so important to me. And not once, if I was going to wish her a happy Mother's Day, or mothers in the whole world a happy Mother's Day, would I be thinking about some political fight. Especially when it's not really a political fight, it's just you being angry at like random people on the internet who you think are mad at you. Like seriously, if you can't put out a tweet about saying nice things about mothers without thinking of a political issue, you need to log off. Or at least think of another joke. I'm doing a fundraiser live stream to raise money for LGBTQ youth in Central Florida next Saturday. I'm trying to raise the money beforehand because I have a donation gimmick where you pay money in order to make me watch movies, so please click the link in my bio, and you'll see the info on how to donate on that page. It's to a group called Zebra Youth, which does really great work with LGBTQ youth in Orlando. So please, if you're able to send anything at all, I'd really appreciate it.